Hey guys, welcome to the Love of Books, Movies, and Happiness. Today's review is going to be on Dream Spinner, which is book 2, I think, by Kristen Ashley. This is book 2 in the Dream Team novel. The first book is Dream Maker, which is technically where we meet the characters. I didn't realize this wasn't the first book, so by the time I realized it, I was already 3 pages in, and I wasn't going to stop at that point. So, we're starting with the second book. I'll go back and get the first book, and then we'll try and put the videos in order, but for the time being, we'll just do this review. Alright guys, this does have some emotional and hints of physical abuse in it. There is some stalking in it. And the main character is a professional burlesque dancer. Those are like the main things to warn you about, just because some people have an issue with that, and of course the abuse part. And does kind of go into like mental health type situations, just so you know. Alright, so we meet Hattie and Axl. Hattie is a professional dancer. She's trained to be a ballerina, but she wasn't good enough as a ballerina to make the cut due to some severe emotional abuse from her father. It has left her scarred. So she has issues. She's not perfect at all. Due to these emotional issues, she is kind of backed off from all of her friends. Hasn't done like her own dance routines in ages. She's just kind of checked out from everything. Her best friend is supposed to be getting married, and she's kind of backed off of the wedding planning. She's not talking to anyone. The guy, Axl, that, in the previous book, apparently she was set up with and enjoyed being around. He's been trying to reach out to her, and she hasn't responded to him. So he's essentially just been like, okay, whatever. Well, we find out we find out through the first chapter that she's got all these issues going on. She doesn't want to deal with it. She really doesn't. She's tired of it. She's at her wit's end. To make matters worse, she has a stalker. So she reaches out to a friend, sort of, that she knows is kind of got connections that she doesn't have, and see if he's worried about it, which the guy is. But while this is going on, Axl, meanwhile, finds out from the fiance of the girlfriend getting married that Hattie hasn't been in touch with her, and the girlfriend's upset over it. So Axl gets ticked off and goes over to Hattie's house with the intention of talking to her about it. Only to find out, when he gets there, he walks in to a guy from their past that was considered, sorry, there was a fly there, that was considered a bit of a criminal to be sitting on her couch with no shirt on. Axl loses it, doesn't give her a chance to explain anything, just kind of yells at her, really tears into her over the whole situation with her girlfriends, and then storms back out. Poor Hattie can't catch a break. Like, she's dealing with mental health issues from dealing with her father. She's dealing with a ton of stress, and now this really doesn't help her, having a stalker, and then this happened. Poor girl just can't. You immediately feel bad for her. Like, she's struggling. So she ends up going to work that night and talking to the girls at work that she's been avoiding, essentially, and kind of goes into all of it with them and explains everything. The things with her father, who's still in the picture, mind you, still giving her issues. He has diabetes, so she takes care of him, and he pretty much doesn't do anything for himself, but he also still criticizes her and just really gets to her. Okay, so she's got mental health issues. She's got her father coming after her mentally. She's got a stalker, and the guy that she really likes just tore her a new one, essentially, before walking away. So she's stressed. So when she lays everything out for her friends, like, hey, this is what happened, I'm sorry that I checked out, they get it. They really do. You know, so then the next day, Axl finds out from the fiance again that, hey, the girl's patched it up, and apparently she's going through a lot, and they understand, and apparently she has a stalker. Well, now Axl's mad that she didn't tell him about the stalker. Even though he didn't really give her a chance. But now he's mad she didn't tell him about the stalker. So he goes back to her house to yell at her for not telling him about the stalker. Like, she cannot catch a break with this guy. It's either because he's mad because she's not treating her friends right, or he's mad because she didn't tell him she was in danger. Like, he's not thinking too clearly at this point. And to yell at her for her choice of who she's asking to help her. He doesn't like the guy. So then again, he does not give her a chance to explain anything. Pretty much tells her, like, I'm into you, I want to be with you, but you have these issues that need to be dealt with. And then he leaves again. Now, poor Hattie is absolutely convinced that she is screwed up. Like, to her, this is her screw up, she's messed up. How can she fix this? And then the guy that's offering her help gives her some advice. You know, she reaches out to Axl through text and is like, hey, can we talk? There's some stuff you don't know that you need to know, and we need to talk. Well, nothing. He doesn't respond. So she sends another message. I know I screwed up, but can we talk? And again, no response. By this point, I'm not too thrilled with Axl. I get that, from the sound of it from the other book, he's really been trying to make a connection with her. But he's not... He's not handling things right. It's the main thing. So she finally decides if he's not going to answer a text message, she's going to go to his house. So after work, the guy that's protecting her drops her off in front of his house. And, he's like, is everything okay? What's wrong? And she's like, we have to talk. And so they finally get into everything. And she explains as much as she can. She explains what's going on. Explains why she didn't tell him about the stalker. Meaning you didn't give her a chance, dude. She gets into all of it. They work things out. And yeah, they end up kissing. Where she ends up staying the night with him. And it's not like, this is one of those ones, sorry, did not mean to show you the roof of the car. This is one of those, I can't really say it's, okay, it is a slow burn. They do get to a spicy scene, it just takes a couple chapters. Which is fine, But they start dating. They work things out and they start dating. And his whole thing is, this is where I go from not liking him to liking him. Because he tells her point blank, if we're going to try this, he's like, your father will not be allowed to continue to be a problem for you. I will deal with your father if he's continuing to emotionally abuse you. And she's very much like, well, I'd rather just put it off and just not deal with him. She just doesn't want to deal with the drama, pretty much. And he's like, that's fine, but at some point we will be dealing with it, and I will be talking to him, because someone needs to stand up for you, and I will be doing that. You know, and that's the moment when I'm like, okay, you're not such a bad guy, you're just handling stuff oddly. So throughout the book, we essentially follow along as they go through, and you get, you know, her going to her shows and doing her dances, but you also get to see his side of things. So it's everyday situations for him while he protects her from a stalker, which she keeps getting contacted from said stalker, keeps getting emails and messages, and just, it's nonstop. But while all this is going on, we find out that he dealt with similar situations with his own family that she did, where he dealt with a father who was domineering and emotionally abusive, liked to make criticism comments, that kind of thing. Well, his mom is sick of it, ends up leaving the dad, and, you know, she ends up helping with that situation. Just as he helps her with her father, only to realize her father loves her, he just doesn't show it well. So, he has a talk with him. Axl's pretty much point blank, look, you can't keep doing this. This is a problem. You can't do this. I'm not going to let it keep happening. And the dad's like, oh, okay. You know, it's like it never occurred to him that what he was doing was an issue. I know, hard to believe, but... And she loves her father, you know, so she wants a good relationship with him. So she's hoping that things will get better. But we'll see in other books if it does or not, but she's hoping. You know, she's a very optimistic personality. So this whole book is essentially them working on their relationship, dealing with a potential stalker, thinking that they're getting answers, only to not get the answers they're expecting. And then throughout all of it, you see them forming their relationship and really building it. It's a good book. Hattie's character is very upbeat and cheerful with a little bit of mental needy helpness. Like, she needs a little help just mentally with standing up to people, that kind of thing. But other than that, she's upbeat and cheerful. Axl is very much the protective, guardian type personality. Can't really say grumpy. You know, he's not really grumpy, he's just a protective personality. We do not get an answer exactly to who the stalker is. We do need to read the other books to find out who the stalker is. But we get some other good answers, though, with it. You really see Hattie's character grow from the beginning to the end of the book. She's really grown and developed herself into a stronger person. She's working on her own dance routines, and she's really trying to fix herself. And Axl helps her with that. It's a good relationship. Would I read this again? Yes. Yes, I would. I would prefer to get the other books and read it in order so that the backstory makes more sense. But I would read this again. Is it for everyone? Possibly not. You know, it's not it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Then again, not all books are. But it's a very good book, and I do recommend looking into the Dream Team novel series by Kristen Ashley. Alright, guys. Keep an eye out for my next video. I'm going to try and find the other books in the series and start reviewing those so that the backstory makes more sense. And who knows, by that point I may update this review and give a more full review after I've read everything. You never know. So keep an eye out. Till next time, guys. Keep reading.